Hey everybody, have you noticed that the worst times in your lives, when you look back, were the times that life opened up to a new level of existence? Well, today I want to talk to you about trigger events, which are the moments and the opportunities that the universe gives us to have a major life upgrade. About 18 years ago, I came across the teachings of law of attraction. I could not believe that I could create reality. If this is true, I will 100% find out and test the hell out of this. As a result, the next 7 years, I did an absolute military disciplined practice of radical appreciation upon anything that my gaze would be set upon. Absolute, totally positive thinking, but not just whatever positive thinking. It had to be a positive thinking that would trigger a positive emotion within myself. I found a lot of things within those 7 years, but I just want to talk to you today about a very specific one, which I started calling trigger events. What trigger events are is when something bad happens to us. It could be a breakup, it could be an accident, it could be a disease, whatever. It could be big or it could be small. Anytime there's something negative happening to us, this is the universe actually presenting us with the opportunity for a major life update. It can also be something that we've been wanting for a long time, even things that we don't remember about. Once this negative thing happens, there's usually two timelines that open up. The majority of people make a conclusion: this is bad, the government is bad, crime is bad, I'm bad. Any sort of conclusion that agrees with the nature of that event as a negative, and usually blaming it on something. What happens with that is that we basically continue within the same timeline that we are, which is usually looping the same sort of life situations without really any major update. Everything kind of keeps going the same. And even sometimes it can get a little worse, because anytime we conclude something about reality, the universe is going to say, okay, yes, if you say so, more evidence, and that creates kind of like a locked reality that it becomes harder and harder to get out of, because we believe it, we see it, and we get reinforcements. What I found in my research, and I would love to share with you, is that when a negative event happens, immediately take a pause, recognize that there's something better on the other side. One has to be honest about one's own feelings. This is where the skill really comes in. But so when something happens, you could do a multitude of things. It depends on what works for you. But what I would do is to have a mantra immediately. It didn't matter how bad the situation was. I would say something like, I know that something better is going to be on the other side. I surrender to the universe and I relax, and I am going to look at this in the future, and I'm going to be so thankful about it. Now, this first mantra, it's something that we kind of have to strive for, look for it, and really hold on to those feelings. For the first day or two, this is something that we kind of just do and surrender into it. What happens after the next day is that the universe starts pairing you up and sending you more thoughts like that. For instance, when I look back at this in my life, I'm gonna love it. I'm so excited. What is the update that I'm gonna have? I'm gonna call my mom and tell her, you cannot imagine what happened. These kinds of things, it adds to that momentum of soothing and feeling better. What happens next? This takes maybe a week. This happens really fast, or 2 weeks, something like that. Something starts to happen where there's a major, very noticeable upgrade. It can be in your skill, it could be in your health, but it will be noticeable and it would be obvious. Now, at the beginning is a little bit hard. It has to be real. What you tell to yourself, you have to believe it. That's why it has to be something like, at the beginning, I want to trust in the universe. I know that it's better for me to surrender. Something kind of easy. Now, once you do it for many years, because you have seen the evidence that it happens every single time, it's easy to get excited, because I want to give you just one small example that happened to me earlier this year to illustrate what this is. Somebody crashed into my car. It was a total loss. I still owe half of the money on that car. And I didn't really have an extra 20 grand to spend on a car, but I work with my car, so I absolutely needed it. As soon as it happened, immediately I said, I'm going to be much better off on the other side of this. Then I followed one step at a time. I ended up getting money to pay my car debt, and I ended up with a generous patron who basically bought me a car. So it was a much better car, no debt, and much better off on the other side. And this is the kind of thing that can happen at every turn, anytime something bad happens. I hope you enjoyed this. It has made my life so much better, and I really wanted to share with you guys. Have a good one.